Yes, you weren't supposed to be here, but since this is how to survive in business as a couple, it's good that we do this intro together.
Okay, that's gonna be tough.
Yeah, you could do it too. Let's jump right in.
We do jump around, and I show you how. So this is how we do it.
Okay.
All right.
Let's
ready?
stop.
Let's stop.
Negative self-talk.
Negative and no
Don't
negative. Cool. And and we keep on that until we know.
already.
Good.
The only thing I would say is that I quit my job in 2020, 1 month before our lockdown in London. And to go full time on this online project that we did, Lazy Dancer Tips, is now doing great. We got to share a 47 square meter apartments, pretty much 24/7, working there, living there, everything in there. So we survived.
We're still together.
Now 2024 almost, and we still managed to
here.
still love each other and make everything work. So we wanted to share with you the 5 main things we did to not
Kill each other.
Kill each other.
The funny thing is, when we started Lazy Dance Tips, there was something that it was very immediate. So we didn't have any trouble with it because I had my own thing, he had his thing, no one was stepping on each other's toes. The good thing is that you didn't know how to dance, and I obviously had to teach people how to dance, and I had absolutely no idea on any of the technical things on computers, cameras, and so that was your domain. So the definition of the role for Lazy Dancer Tips was very easy. Things got a little bit harder when we opened our new business, which is Profitable Talents, understanding what to do.
Our skills started to overlap a little bit.
did.
You get to pick up some of the things that the other one knows best, and then you want to say something about it. You want to have your final word on it.
So the very important thing that you need to do as a first rule of thumb is define your roles.
You need to take ownership of what your role is. You're going to be there to be blamed. If something is not right, I don't suggest you blaming, but that's what happens. Just define it specifically because it's going to save your life, your marriage, your relationship when things are clear from the get-go.
It's always the husband's fault anyway.
That's a given.
Number 2, super important.
Sanity tip number 2.
Give each other space. It doesn't matter if you live in a 47 square meter apartment like we did, you really have to give each other space. Find time to get out of the house, do something totally different.
I mean, sometimes I get the cue when you spend way too much time gardening and I'm thinking, okay, she definitely needs some time for herself to clear her mind or whatever it is. I feel from you that you need your space. That's so important because if you respect each other's space, you gain respect too when you need space, and I think it's the best way to recharge, especially if we would live and work together. Our rule number 3 to survive in business as a couple is, we discovered it the hard way, communication. But what does it mean? It sounds like we are talking what we're not really communicating, and what does that mean? As a man, I am still doing that, keep a lot of the conversation within my head. And I assume people just understand it. Like, you understand exactly what has to be done and when, which is clearly not possible for anyone. Same applies to you, my darling. So what we had to find was a system to define how to tell each other what we were gonna work on every day. And you came up with it because apparently I wasn't helping. So I think you read a book where you found a system where we would organize our week based on each other's needs and the way we wanted to run each day. So that we knew by design what we had to work every day, every half a day.
I don't notice it, but I'm very direct and sometimes a little bit mean. And he turns around and he says, why do you have to be so mean? What have I done to you to actually deserve this? But in my
every man
head...
out there, I feel you.
I'm sorry. No, I'm not sorry. But it is. I know. But it is about understanding what makes him tick and go absolutely off the handle. And especially what it made me go off the handle.
I'm learning how to treat you as well, or every day. I know what drives you insanely mental. Sometimes I forget. It's a game of trying to really understand each other, because what you want to say, it's not necessarily what comes out of your mouth most of the time. The fourth life-saving trick that we used is to have a shared calendar, so that every time we speak with somebody, we want to fix an appointment of any kind, work-related, personal-related, we are both on the same page. And we don't get surprises with, birthday parties or dinners or catch up with who's that guy again? We have something in common and we don't even ask each other, shall we do it Thursday or Monday? Because we know what happens throughout the whole week. We just check the calendar. If it's free, it's free. We both know it, and that's great.
We both have a work schedule. So we know exactly what happens on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, and Friday. Sometimes we've got a little bit more free time. Sometimes whenever our brain is not working, we say, okay, today is a no day. It's okay. It's understandable. It's about loving ourselves as well. And that's why we decided to have a business. It comes with lots of pros and lots of cons, but it is about also understanding when to take a break and when not to be 100% the next day. Survival tip number 5, which is a very important one, especially if you're working from home. Defining certain space for work, it's a very important thing. We never talk about work in our bedroom, or we never talk about work in our playroom. Let's define playroom, because otherwise this is gonna be weird. Playroom, aka the cave, is where we have our entertainment. Everything that happens in there, it's about chilling
Stays
out.
in there.
Oh, stop it. It's about chilling. It's about having free time. It's about unwinding. Because if we start working, everything kind of mushes together. So
It feels like you never stop.
it feels like you never stop. So this is a very important to define a room for your work in the house. Okay, so we never had big homes. That's the nature of Europe. Welcome to Europe. This is what it is like. We lived and worked in a 47 square meter apartment. So that was a matter of understanding when to work and where to work. It's very important not only to have a space, a very dedicated space to work, but also defining working hours. Because otherwise, not only you think that you always work because you are in a space, in a work-related space, but also you never stop talking about it. Even if you're very passionate about what you do and your business, there have to be times where you need to wind down. If you're inspired, yes, I get it, but there are times, very defined hours, where you don't take coaching calls, you don't reply to the phone. The only reason why you reply to that phone is to set up meetings with your friends and go out and chill. Otherwise, it's a constant work. Guys, you cannot give from an empty bucket. You have to fill in that bucket as much as possible to then be able to give back.
When you're working from home, working for yourself, you never switch off. And I personally had this problem, sometimes I still do, that I feel guilty if I don't work because I think that I could always do more. And that only leads to burnout. And by forcing ourselves to say, okay, Saturday and Sunday we don't work. We only work if we decide we want to because we are excited, but it has to be an active decision. Otherwise, we do whatever we want.
I love it.
And that mental switch, just not being in the room where you work, but being somewhere else and feeling okay about it because we agreed that that's how it's gonna go, it's incredibly freeing and it allows you to relax finally. We actually shot a video where we say the pros and cons of being in business with your spouse. That's our experience. If you want to watch it, where are you pointing? That
Right
is the
here.
video you should watch right now. Good luck.
I will survive.
I don't know. We're doing all right so far.
Yeah.
That's it.
Very well.
Very well.
Very well.